Welcome to the BTB Boys Podcast. If that ominous intro music didn't give it away, we have some deadly games in store for you guys today. Probably not as deadly as the game like in the show, but
probably
we take chances
There's
here
question.
sometimes. What would you say the deadliest game you've ever played, Brian Vaughn, co-host of the BTB Boys Podcast?
Sure. I would say the deadliest game I've ever played is marriage.
Wow, I guess I wasn't expecting that.
That's
Wow,
pretty good.
tough to beat
Deny
that
it,
one.
fellas. One of you has intimate knowledge
Woo.
of that.
Tough to beat that one, Van. What's the deadliest game you've played?
Oh, well, mine's Grape Escape, because your little grape guy goes around and then you push the thing. Sometimes they get snipped and you get your finger caught in there. Sometimes they smoosh them and you get your finger caught in there.
Both
Sometimes
good, meaningful answers.
something else happens to grapes.
We had some good contrast there. There was
Spencer,
one.
deadliest game?
Oh, I was in the Squid Games, actually. I forgot to tell you guys.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
you
I
made
forgot.
it out, though.
Yeah,
well,
I did.
Congrats.
I didn't get the money, but I did survive. So
that
I
was when
consider it.
Van and I were very wealthy and we were sitting up in the booth rooting for you. And
Yeah.
we both discussed it. We were like, we should probably help Spencer. But instead, we gambled against you, actually.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm glad you defied us, though. We lost money, but we gained the
You would think
continued
this would
existence of our friend.
come between us, but none of us had remembered to even talk about it. So obviously, it's not that big of a deal.
No.
I think we can move forward from
Though
that.
Van and I still do sometimes wear our triangle robes.
So
Yeah, they're pretty stylish.
not the first time we've talked about Squid Game on BTB Boys, is it, guys?
No, we're
Squid
back.
Squad reunite. I called us the Squid Squad last time we covered
Did
the
you?
show.
Yeah.
I believe it now. Now, I don't have any squid clothing, but because we're on video, I did wear my 2 pieces of seafarer clothing, which is I have this shirt that I once wore for some sort of occasion. I have 2 shirts with collars, okay? What am I supposed to do? This one has lobsters on it.
It's pretty
and
cool.
then these are swimming pants. I don't like the word trunks, and they have sharks on them. So, my
Again, pretty
thought
cool.
was I'll be as in touch with the ocean as I can be.
I have a shirt here with cherries on it. And as we know, cherries
Famous
are squid's
ocean
favorite
fruit.
food. Yeah. And they grow in the ocean. That's why squids love them so much. Spencer, did you know that the ink sac of a squid can be triggered to release this black substance very rapidly?
Oh, I know it can happen quick. Yeah, they can do it real fast if they need to.
Did you know that the colossal squid is the largest invertebrate in the world? The smallest
did
is
know
the
that.
sepoilid squid. It is less than 1 inch long and weighs less than 1/4 of an ounce.
This is
Now
news
you
to
know
me.
it.
This is
Five
something
squid
I
facts.
Googled about 3 hours ago.
Oh, it's right here on my screen. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Squid.
So we, of course, only did season 1, episode 1 and 2 when we went last time. And then we left.
And I believe a Patreon episode about the rest.
We did watch the entire season and we talked about it. We only covered the first 2 on the show. I don't know. You can find it in the archive somewhere. It's like 100 episodes ago or something.
Episodes 47 and 48.
Ooh, right to pull
Yeah.
that. It probably was 100 episodes.
From
then.
1994 when we started podcasting. We invented it.
So at the time, we didn't know yet because it was still relatively recent. At that, it was past the point where it was super popular and everyone was talking about it, but it was still pretty fresh. So we didn't know what was to become of it.
That's the best you can expect of us is to be 20% behind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we definitely didn't catch the wave, but
We're
we're
40.
close. Since then, they've done a lot more Squid Game. We've got this second season, which they dropped last December of 2024, and they've already filmed season 3, I should say.
They
So they did
haven't
that
released
concurrently.
it. Yet, though.
It's out. It's out.
Is it out? Okay.
Yeah, I
I
think
am
it came
in-
out at the end of
I am
June.
in possession of it
Wow.
yeah.
legally.
So they,
What's great about that is literally we take this anti-capitalist thing and then America says, oh, it's successful. Let's smack some capitalism into it. We got to promote this. We got to do game shows. We got to do toys. Let's pump out some new seasons. I mean, it's insane. We'll see if it lives up to the first season, though.
This is a question for you, Van, a philosophical question about media. I don't know. I'm not giving away my answer here, but if you enjoy watching both of those additional seasons, do you feel that it's viable or do you feel even then, it's extraneous?
That's tricky because I don't want to say it all boils down to whether or not it sucks, but that really is
Kind of does though.
play into it. But yeah, it shouldn't exist, but because they've made it, I'll check it out. And if it's good, then great. But much like when we covered Beef, the other Netflix show, I feel like we got it. We're good. This is awesome. Let's put our stamp of approval on it and be done with it. But since it's here, it's the nature of the beast now. We'll see how it goes. And
I talked to someone today about doing this very recording, and they said, yeah, that should have just been one season. I feel like that is what it is, but I also kind of feel like if you can make something creatively viable and take Netflix's money, I don't know, go for it.
The guy who did this, Spencer may have his name, I don't remember, he famously barely got paid for his creation. So I'm hoping because it's continuing that he's getting bank, like he's getting paid or whatever.
I hope
his
so too.
Actors are getting paid, hopefully. So that's the positives to it, in my opinion, is the people who worked on it can get a tiny morsel of a reward considering how screwed they were from the first season.
And Gi-Hun can get some money for working on his butt that much.
Let's see. Put some effort into that thing. His butt looks good. I think it's because he did the Star Wars show, and they're like, you're going to be a Jedi Master. You got to be in shape, buddy. And so he waved his lightsaber in the squids, and he took home all the money, and now he's buff.
So like you guys alluded to, yes, this was supposed to be a one-season show. The creator who, let me just get this out of the way right now. I said this last time. I can't say these Korean names right at all. It's not for lack of respect for the culture. I just don't know how to do it. And it's pretty typical for Americans. We kind of can only say our thing and sometimes not even that well. Yeah, we're pretty dumb. Unfortunately, I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these names, and I apologize to our
so bear
Korean
with
audience
us on the pronunciation.
I will do my best. Yeah, I'll do my best. But the creator is Hwang or Hwang, but probably Hwang Dong Hyuk.
Oh my.
Hyuk. So Dong Hyuk. He conceived season 1 as a one-off. And of course, it's like you guys alluded to, it's explosive success is the note that I have here. It became Netflix's most watched series ever in just under 2 weeks.
Wow.
So when they had that kind of success, it got some executive attention, and they're like, we can't let this end here. So they went back to the creator, and to his credit, he decided to make more with it. And he seems to have another part of the story to tell. So we will see what we think of it. He made it work in regard to what the audience demanded. So it was supposed to just end the way it did the first season. I would have been good with it. I thought that was a perfectly acceptable open ending that left us with some questions that we don't necessarily need answered. But since they decided to demand more and we get more, time to find out some of those answers.
Now, let me ask this, Spencer, because Brian and I were talking this before we started recording. I have, to this point, because we're only recording one episode of Squid Game for now, we'll record our second later at a different date. I've only watched this first episode of the second season as of right now. Have you watched the second season?
I have not, and I decided to do exactly what you did. I'm just sticking with this one for now. So I've only seen the intro. Of course, Brian, you've seen the whole thing, right? The whole
I
season?
have, yeah. I watched it all about 6 months ago when we first made this plan, because two of the members, I'm going to always say it this way, two of the members of the podcast relocated in
could
fairly
be a different
drastic
two this
fashion.
time. No, you don't know.
Yeah, it could be. You never know. Leading up to that, I really needed just something where I didn't have to think about planning or anything. So there were 2 nights where I watched all of these, and that actually made me change my mind a little bit on the series, because I only wanted there to be the one season. The second season, though, I think takes I mentioned this kind of illusion earlier, but it's like a band that releases a really serious album and then releases an album that's these are 6 catchy songs or whatever. It's like an EP. This is a really catchy season. I don't think it has as much on its mind, but it has a lot more plotting and is really fun to watch. And if you have too much to do, watch this and it'll distract you.
And there was more goofball stuff that happened just in this episode, and it's great. I loved it.
It's also funny. There are parts in the episodes where I'm you guys have made an effort to ramp up humor here, and it has left me at a point where it ends on a cliffhanger, just as season 1 did, but I think a much more dramatic one. And I'm excited to watch season 3. I'll probably do it soon. I might choose for us to cover it. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well.
I might also choose Empty Nest. You don't know.
You never know. We could go any direction. We could do Airwolf again for all you guys know. It could be anything.
You could be Bones.
It will be Bones, is what you mean to say. So
and
there will be Bones.
We talked about the season 2 and season 3 were filmed at the same time. So season 3 is already starting as well.
Should have been
They just
released
mass
at the same
producing
time,
this
I'm pretty
stuff.
sure.
Well, I think the season 3 just came out in June, and season 2 is December.
I kind of feel like they could have waited and you guys will see when the season ends. It's kind of like, okay, this feels kind of cheap. Like there is an element of that of like your first season was so complete and more episodes, and this one it's kind of like you could have probably made a 12 episode season instead of 2 6s, right?
I'm sure.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
By the way, just 6 episodes. This
Yeah.
season?
I think this one's 7.
7 and 6. Sorry,
They're a little longer, but not much. Like I think the story was already told, but they figured, well, I fleshed out the universe, so I can make that stuff happen again, and we can create another like couple mini seasons out of it. But
yeah, and they thought, well,
case,
Brian has to move, and Brian has to be distracted.
let's give him something to do.
Yeah.
So the creator
You've narrowed it down by 1, by the way. You said 2 of the members have moved, but you just revealed that you're one of the members.
this time. Next time it might be you
That's
and me,
fair.
Dan. We
Am I a
rotate.
reliable narrator, though?
The creator, I should mention, did resist this initially, despite the opportunity to get more money that he didn't
Good
get
for him.
before. He was burned out because he was like the solo mind behind this whole world. So he
Did
didn't
he
really
write
want to do
every
more.
episode of the first
Yes.
season?
He was like the sole creator of that whole thing. So he
That's
didn't really
crazy.
want to do any more with it. And it got so popular, they kind of made him, and he eventually did come around, obviously.
That's legitimately crazy, though, because that's like a lot of plotting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in this story, actually. Since we're not covering season 1, if you didn't see season 1 somehow, or if, you just forgot, like it's been a while, kind of like me, I hadn't watched them in a long time. I just really quickly, I pulled some basic information about season 1. This is not my content. I just pulled it from the internet. I'm going to summarize it. Shouldn't take very long, but this will kind of get us all up to speed on where we're starting with today's episode, which is, of course, season 2, episode 1, Lottery and Bread, or is it Bread and Lottery? I forgot.
Bread and Lottery.
Bread and Lottery, which for a very specific fucked up reason that we'll be talking about here later on. So season 1 was 456 desperate people drowning in debt sign up for a mysterious competition promising life-changing money. They quickly learn the stakes. 6 childhood games, win and live or lose and die. So Gi-Hun is our protagonist. Our unlucky everyman teams up with his childhood friend Song-woo, a cunning defector Saibok, loyal, is it Ali? Was it Ali or Ali? I think it was Ali.
Ollie.
Ali.
Yeah.
And a frail
The
old
nicest guy in the first
man.
season.
He was so sweet. A frail old man player 001.
My
as the
favorite
games
one.
at first.
Well,
As the
I
games
mean-
progress, alliances form, betrayals hit hard, and the line between survival and humanity blurs fast. We watch a massacre and red light, green light, a sugar cookie nightmare, tug of war over a death drop, a heartbreaking marble round. That was really sad. And a glass bridge of doom, culminating in a bloody
Vomit.
final duel between Gi-Hun and Song-woo. In the end, Gi-Hun wins, but loses nearly everyone he cares about. The bombshell was that player 001, or however he was said, 001, 007, was the mastermind all
I'm
along.
001. I'm not quite as good as 007.
The
I
games
rule
exist.
the game.
I'm John Connery.
I should not have done that.
Oh.
The games exist.
I
for the
was never Mr. America bodybuilder. I was just kind of like 4th place.
The games exist for the amusement of the ultra rich, and nothing has really changed. The cycle continues until Gi-Hun vows to stop it. That's what happens at the end. Is he gets really pissed because at first he's kind of shell shocked. Then he decides, you know what, I'm going to bring these guys down. He dyes his hair pink, and that's the end of the season. Is where I guess that's his energy level represented. I don't know.
Have you guys ever dyed your hair?
Yes.
What an unnatural
Purple.
color?
Purple.
I did
Bright purple.
I knew about that.
I did.
knew about that.
have my head painted green that one St. Patrick's Day. You guys remember
Yeah,
that?
counts.
I mean, it
It's
was
as close
just a
as you
green
can get, so it counts.
head. I mean, I could dye the beard, I guess.
You could
but-
dye your beard. That's what
Yeah.
I was actually getting ready to say.
Yeah, I mean,
Would-
I could.
Would you dye your beard?
Nah, I don't want to do that.
No. I don't think I've ever dyed my hair an unnatural color. Like, I dyed my hair for a while due to self-consciousness about being ancient. And I stopped that about half a year ago. And now I have, I don't know, like the grayest hair anyone's ever had. And like, that's totally fine or whatever. But I have thought, like, what if I dyed it a weirdo color?
It's
So
fun.
my next-
Like, I
That's a
enjoy it.
nice middle ground. Yeah.
Yeah, my next question is this. If I dyed my hair a color that is not a natural human color, what color should I dye my hair? Listeners, also email us at butuinc.something@gmail.whatever. Get a hold of us on Discord. Leave a review.
Yep. Leave a review telling Brian what color to color his hair. Let me ask
I'll
this.
tell you what, if you leave a review right now, I'll dye my hair the fucking color you say.
There
that
you
sounds
go.
like
Somebody get out there and do
that's
that.
a great plug right
Yeah.
there.
I think you should probably limit it, the choices to colors
dark
on the spectrum
colors.
you can see. And yeah, dark colors help too. But what can you see? Because you are partially colorblind.
I am red-green colorblind, which I just read a thing that makes me feel so much better. I didn't know this, and I looked it up. But red-green colorblindness also affects blues and purples, and I never knew this. And my whole life, I've been like, I think that's purple, and then somebody like, it's blue, and I'm like, I shouldn't say anything.
Sometimes it's hard to tell with blue and purple, though, to be fair. Like the violet sort of thing. I don't know.
But it's more severe than I thought. However, I see colors, which is cool, so I'm glad I get that at least. I think it'd have to be a dark color, because like obviously you can't be blonding this up. Like even with the gray, like I had, you guys knew me 400 years ago. I had like almost black hair. And like, so like putting too light of a color in it is probably going to fuck it up.
Well, see, what you have to do, because I have black hair, as you can see.
Yeah.
When I did it, I had short hair. Now my hair is incredibly long. But
yeah, and you have like no gray hair. It is insane.
No, I think that's the Native American.
Spencer and I are both dying.
Yeah, you guys are gray. I get in the beard a little, but that's about it. And it's only if it gets
wise.
long.
We might be wise.
Yeah, it's
like owls.
I think it starts in the chin. That's where mine started, and then it kind of creeps up gradually.
So
and Spencer, you may remember this. And on my temples, I had gray hair when I was like 16.
Yeah, and I
17.
think that that's pretty common. I mean, I've heard of other people that saying they get gray hair really early, so I know that happens. It's
well, like Robin Williams and Jack.
But what you have to do as a dark hair is you have to dye it like blonde, white, pretty much a couple of times, then add the color to it. So you can't just do it as black because it'll just be black with a little bit of color speckled in. But you gotta like peroxide that shit.
I was dyeing my hair its actual like former natural color, not quite as dark as that, for a long time. And now I've decided I'm going to become a regular who has gray hair.
A lot of people.
Ugly, like George Clooney. If George Clooney like did a podcast instead of being in Syriana or something.
Did we talk last time about how if you were playing like the red light, green light game, you wouldn't have been able to tell the colors? Like, I mean, I know they called it. Okay,
I listened to these recently.
Okay,
in preparation for
that
this.
Seems like a thing we would cover. I just felt like a little deja vu right there.
I would have had to rely on someone to yell at me. That's going to come up later, by the way, when we cover our next episode.
We discussed how we would perform, all three of us, because I would just fall over. I was too clumsy, and then I get shot.
You would die. We would all die.
The episode that we're going to cover, Lottery and Bread, I want to mention real quickly before we get into the synopsis and start talking about what happens in it, the beats of the episode. It again brings back Gi-Hun, who is played by, and I think I'm reading their family name first, right? The Lee Jung Jae. Or Jai.
That's how we would say it as Americans, the hyphenated part.
Having just listened to our episodes before, this is how Van described it before. You do the last name first.
Yeah, so it's Lee Jung Jae or Jay. That's our lovely Gi-Hun. If you didn't, do not watch it with the dubs. This time I was just going to let it happen, and I couldn't make it. It was so bad.
And then the dubs this time?
Yeah, it's just I started to, and then it was so bad that I couldn't do it. And the guy who dubs Gi-Hun, oh man, it just makes the show unwatchable.
I hope it's the same guy. Because I did the dubs the first season, and they were so bad.
I forgot
this season
you did.
I've watched them speaking Korean, and then
so much better
subtitling. It's way better.
A subs only person. I can't.
I was going to just not fuss with it because it defaulted to the English one because that's what people want, and I was just going to be like, okay, fine, I'll just let it happen. But I made it like 15 minutes in, and I just thought it was the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life.
It's so really
I gave
bad.
up.
Can you really do this alone? I need you. Old man, can't you see that?
Get up! God, this bitch so pathetic. Stop calling me babe and old man, huh?
You asshole.
So the rest of the people in this episode, there's going to be some people that we probably won't talk about that were in season 2 that are not in the couple we're doing. So I'm only talking about this particular episode. We also have frontman, of course, who is Hwang In-ho. and that is Lee Byung-hun. And then we have Jun-ho, of course, our police officer from the first season. And
like
he
that
is
guy.
he is played by he's not just an actor, he's actually a Korean model. The Wee Ha-jun, that's
He
who
is
plays
super
Jun-ho.
hot.
He's a
Yeah,
very
I buy that.
That's
handsome
like
guy.
pretty evident right away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you
the
can-
girl from last season, she was also a
Cyborg,
model.
yeah.
It's like
Super hot also.
Yeah, you can
and you're
tell
like,
when you see
you're not-
those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not
it's like
John
those
C.
are
Reilly.
surely like that's not just a thing that Korean people look like that. Like it's like
Or
that's amazing.
anybody.
No, yeah, these people are not people you actually see in real life.
These are people you would like see in real life and not be able to speak to.
Makes me think of Beef, the brother who was just a total hunk. And my favorite
Yeah.
part about that was when they had the flashback. He's supposed to be like a 16-year-old, so they gave him a parka and a beanie, and they're like,
And he
Look at
has
this hunk. He's 16.
a 45 pack.
And then we have, I don't really even remember who this is. We have Myung-gi or Myung-gi, who is played by Yim Saiwan. And that may be the guy who loses the Dokji later in the episode. It could be
I believe that it is.
with the
because he's in the rest of the
cap.
season, right? Yeah.
Oh, I
So I
hope
believe
so.
that's him. And then
he
we
has like
have,
a bucket hat.
Yeah, the second I saw him come on screen, I said, I either want this guy to win or die the worst death imaginable.
I
Well,
imagine
you're
it's the
very
latter.
pro bucket hat
Yeah.
in the right scenario, Van.
Of
And then
course.
we have
Only in the right scenario.
Kim Jun-hee, who is Jo Yu-ri. And that is I believe the character that I just said, I believe that's his love interest. So I believe those two are in the later episodes. We see a glimpse of them in
They
this
are.
one. And then
What was
They
that
are,
actor's name? The last one?
Jo Yu-ri.
Do, a deer, a female deer. Huh? You get it?
Sound of
Is it
Music.
Do, re, mi,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I like it.
So
that couple actually takes some interesting turns.
I figured they would. And we talk a little bit about them in this episode. They very briefly, they get some cameos. It's good foreshadowing. A couple of guest stars in this episode. If you wanted some backstory about the recruiter, this is your episode. And that is, we don't know his name. He's just the recruiter. That's an actor named Gong.
And you guys
Yu.
like him, right? You found him really likable.
I mean, that's not a badly written character. There were parts that were over the top, but I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting.
At a certain point, I'm like, I like the idea of this, but guys,
They
calm down.
really went overboard. Yeah, but
he's a
idea's there.
likable monster.
Yeah.
It's as likable as a monster.
There
So
is-
he could be president.
Of course.
There's one scene with him later on that I cannot wait to talk about because it was really well done. But I mean, yeah, he's an interesting guy. They just let him go
That's the
about
good
20
scene.
minutes too long, I think. But good scene overall with him. We do get a brief cameo in their heads from Song Woo and Saibok. You guys saw that, right? Their
Yeah.
heads are in here.
I
not
like that.
Not the actors, just their heads.
I miss them.
Then we have Woo Sok, who is
That's what I say every day when I put my clothes on.
acted by someone named John
When you're able to do
Sok-ho.
it. Woo, sock.
And then we also have Kim Jong-rae. I'm just going to call him Kim in the episode. He's the Loan Sharks leader. He's played by Kim Pub-lay. And then lastly, the sea captain.
The best one.
The sea captain.
We love him.
Something McAllister. I think that's his name.
Most Korean people have the surname McAllister.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a little bit of an idea of who the cast is we're going to be dealing with. I will bring them up as we see them in the episode too. So let's stop butchering names and actually continue with the episode now. So real quickly, the synopsis of the episode, the whole thing we're talking about today, season 2, episode 1, Lottery and Bread, is a vengeful Gi-Hun makes a U-turn at the airport. Later in his hideout, because it is, he intensifies his search for the elusive recruiter who is seeking new players. And I got to say, Gi-Hun in this episode, every time you see him, it's like, oh, he's so vengeful. Look at that guy. I can
how
see the
All the
vengeful.
time, I'm like, vengeful.
I'll just kick it off then, since we've done all of the introduction stuff we can possibly do for this. This is season 2 of Squid Game opening up here. And it kind of picks up where season 1 leaves off, where Gi-Hun is at the airport attempting to leave. He's got a choice to get out of this thing, leave it behind him forever, and reconnect with his daughter in the United States.
We have to assume at this point he's already spent $19 on a McChicken and a small fry and a soda, which is a thing I did once at O'Hare in Chicago. And I did not expect it. And I'm never this person, but I was like, $19? I said it back out loud. I was like, is that real? And they were like, yeah.
How much on is that, you think?
Probably
60
like,
billion.
Yeah, I think it's about like you have to give up your head. Just cut it off.
So when he sees the recruiter still at it, Gi-Hun does, then he just decides, never mind. I can't leave. I have to hunt this down. I have to stop this ring of whatever this is.
I've got vengeance all of a sudden.
He's gotten very vengeful with his pink hair, and he decides,
Okay.
I'm not flying home. My daughter can wait. I have to solve this. She'll understand. So he's going to stay, and he's going to go ahead and take this ring down of whatever they are. He receives a call immediately when he changes his mind from the front man. He
Morrissey
calls him and he threatens him and he says, you should have just gotten on that plane. You're not going to be able to do anything better than get on the plane. But it's Gi-Hun. He's vengeful. He's not going to be deterred. He's not going to say, okay, front man, you're right. I'm going to get in the plane. So he leaves the airport, enters a cab, says, take me to Seoul, and then heads to a nearby gas station. And he's getting a razor blade, guys. He goes to a gas station just to shop for a razor blade. Well, in a public bathroom.
Not what we'd use it for.
In a public bathroom, we're about to find out he undresses, just nude in a public bathroom that anyone can come in. He is checking his body all over. He's doing a little pat. He's feeling around because he thinks that there's a tracker in him. And there is, because there's a little gross spot right behind his left ear. And he just goes ahead and digs that thing right out.
I think of the Matrix every time I see something like this.
That's very like that, yeah. And we get a good shot of the razor blade just digging in there. There's blood dripping all over the place.
Does that bother you guys?
Not really. I mean, it was gruesome, but they didn't make it too bad.
They didn't show it like getting in there.
No.
Which is
if it were doing eye things, like even pretend in movies and stuff, that will bother me. But
eyes and teeth. I have problems with eyes and teeth.
Yeah, it thankfully was nothing like that, so I didn't have a huge problem with it.
There's this scene in The Americans where someone pulls teeth, and I can't look at that.
There's a Mad Men episode too where Don pulls his tooth is bothering him, and he just yanks it out, and it ends the episode. Yeah.
Don Draper,
Don Draper pulls the tooth out.
John Hamm, our Missouri brethren.
Gi-Hun naked in the bathroom. We didn't talk about how after he cuts that thing out, a kid just comes in because it's a public bathroom, and he's just sitting there naked with blood everywhere. And he says, "Hey, sorry, kid, just give me 5 minutes." And
then the kid looks at him and says, 5 minutes? You want 5 fucking minutes?
Yeah.
I haven't got 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, he has a bandana on. It's a whole ordeal. He's 6'5"
Best actor in the show.
Jacked. Yeah. This sort of stuff is the stuff that I like being added, though. Because like if you're gonna have a more like homage to 80s action or whatever, which this turns into, having watched the whole season, I like having more little jokes.
Yeah, it's cute. It's fun.
I like how the kid is not really all that phased. He looks at him for a little bit. He's like, all right, yeah, I'll give you a little bit. Looks like you went through something.
The other way to play that is the kid like screams and runs out of there, and like people will find
fun.
that. But some people will find it funny. This is way better.
Oh yeah, no, I liked it. If they're gonna do that with it.
You just thumbs up, and that's
it.
The other part of our opening sequence here that matters quite a bit is we quickly cut to the hospital where we see a patient in bed. Who's that patient, guys? It's Jung-ho. He is not dead, which is interesting because at the end of the first season, he was shot by Frontman, who we learned is his brother. So a little complicated there, but he got shot and fell off the cliff.
You guys don't have brothers. I've obviously been shot by my brother.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's
rough.
normal.
Yeah, everybody like
sibling rivalry.
Yeah, you get shot by your brother.
To be fair, he was only shot in the shoulder. So he did fall off of a huge cliff. So I think we all assumed he was dead. And when we watched the season 1, but I
think
wasn't.
we're all like, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Just a wink, wink, nod.
I wouldn't have necessarily thought so until we realized there was a season.
Sure. That's the thing. Sure. If you weren't going to do season 2, then I guess you're implying, that's it.
And that would be ballsy to have him just die there.
So this is him. This is Jung-ho. This is what became of him. He is not dead. He's in the hospital recuperating, but he's clearly been, I guess, like in a coma or something, because he opens his eyes. His mother is watching him and is understandably excited, freaking out, calling for a doctor because it turns out, hey, my son is coming back from the dead. He might just make it through this.
Jun-ho was gung-ho about life.
He has one line here in this opening scene before we get the title card that, there's not much to it. It's just a card in this show, but he has one line where he says, In-ho. He just says his brother's name. I do wish it had been something else, but he says the name of his brother who tried to murder him, as that's the first thing that leaves his lips as he wakes up from his coma.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, if either of you fall into a coma, and I want you to make me the same promise, I want you to be waiting there, and then if I speak again, let's start recording right then. Like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Post-coma podcast. And I don't plan on going into a coma. I feel like even if in a coma, I would continue to speak.
It'll happen, though. One of these days, one of us will go into a coma. Now, I think the best thing that could have happened in Squid Game here was if he opens his eyes and first words he says before it goes to the title card is he just goes, Squid Game.
Okay, I would have liked it. Yeah, I mean, it's so stupid that I would have been like, okay, fine. So, with a title card, you guys don't have anything, right? Like, there's nothing you can do with that.
It's neat. I think this is the perfect intro for you because it's over instantly.
And Netflix has been doing this for a while.
In my notes, it
pandering to me.
It says Spencer would love how this is 3 seconds.
There's just nothing to do. I mean, I guess they could show a montage of season 1. Them getting mowed down by the red light, green light person or something.
Van and I are much more amenable to credit sequences. Van, do you have an example of like a long one that you're like, this is worth it?
A long one? That's tricky because the long ones are never worth it.
Me interrogating us because we've always defended credit sequences.
I always think of one of the first ones we did with Alf and him like bursting in on the mom showering and doing all kinds of creepy stuff.
Well, yeah, you can jerk off to it. It's great.
And that's a solidly long one. It's maybe 45 seconds or so. It's not super short.
It's pretty long.
There's then there's like the coaches of the world where it's the worst. It's just music and trophies.
Yeah, you can jerk off.
Nothing happening. You can, of course, Dauber got that trophy. Yeah.
Yeah, Craig T.
Nelson.
Yeah, I didn't get there, guys. Once in a while, it just doesn't happen at all. That was one of those.
Yeah, that's
Airwolf.
a worthy one to forget, I think.
Yeah.
No more title sequences, right? You had to bring that up since we didn't have one to talk about here.
No, I wanted to really quick say the only one I could even think of. I thought like the first season of True Detective, that title sequence was great. And I haven't seen it in years, but I remember being like, this is worth having spent a minute on or whatever.
I did like the way they presented it. That's a good presentation. And the music set the stage really well.
It sets a certain stage. Yeah. I feel like if you're going to spend more than the 5 seconds Spencer prefers, you better have a reason.
Yeah, don't just do here's the cast and some of the hijinks they're going to get up to. Don't do that. But to be fair, they haven't done that in a long time. We've just covered all the shows that did. So it feels to us like that's a thing.
Yeah, we've covered almost all shows. So.
It'd be really fucking weird if they did it on this show with like jaunty, upbeat, commercialized music.
Yeah, it's like
3-minute
Gi-Hun is, and then it freeze frames on him.
He
while
smiles
blood
at the
all over his
camera,
face. He's been shot.
I assume you guys would be amenable to a show trying to bring something like that back just for nostalgia's sake.
100%.
Like if it's the right kind of show.
If it's a comedy, yeah absolutely, you could do that.
I have said this to myself for a long time, but I think Parks and Rec could have done that.
Sure,
that would be good. Yeah.
Because it's so earnest about its characters.
I could actually tolerate it more now if they did it in a contemporary fashion. I'd like to see how that got updated than seeing it for the millionth time in the 80s where that's all they ever did. It just
Another problem about the 80s is they didn't change it season to season. I feel like if you change it every season, people will give a shit more.
Every single one was just like, here's our white people and then our quirk. So here's Alf or here's a car that talks or here's a light post that can move.
And Family Matters, like Grandma Winslow's reading the same Rolling Stone. Let's have her read a different magazine next year.
Or at least a different edition. Like something where it's not the same one.
Yeah, Grandma Winslow was horny, too. That's not just me saying that. Like, that is show context.
Okay, so it's 2 years later in the show. That was our intro. We're jumping forward, just like they did in the real show. You know, we got a little bit of like, it's mirroring reality here. Art imitates
I don't know why,
life.
but this was jarring to me that just like, boom, 2 years.
Me too.
I was confused. A young couple are riding around on, I said it was a motorbike because it didn't look like a motorcycle to me. It's like some kind of Korean thing. I don't know what they have over there.
It's like a Vespa, but Korean.
Yeah.
So they are immediately apprehended by a couple of traffic cops. And these aren't just any cops. They are being introduced for a very obvious reason that we'll soon get to. The driver was not wearing his helmet. Who does that? He wasn't wearing his helmet, and he needs to be cited.
People in Missouri now, because they repealed the fucking law, so now people just do it all the time.
Haven't we learned that you got to protect? Okay, that's all right.
Protect your noggin.
It's like What if we all went back to being like, I don't wear seatbelts. I'm pretty cool, so I don't like to.
What is that exactly? Because
That's that machismo shit. That's all it is.
I don't find any of it like that difficult. Like wearing a helmet or
it's
a
not.
seatbelt or whatever.
I mean, I just don't get it.
When am I wearing a helmet?
In any case, this guy's obviously kind of a rebel. He's not wearing a helmet. His girlfriend
Super
in the
cool.
back
Yeah.
is, and a cop comes up to them and says, it's not just any cop, but we'll get into that. He says, hey, you got to wear a helmet. I'm going to have to give you a ticket. There's a
Sturdy Harry.
I don't know. There's a little bit of a mention of, I guess, what Squid Game is all about, where the guy getting cited says like, oh, so you're just going to make a broke innocent civilian pay a fine or something like that. And there's always references to the working class people, or even less than that in this case. Like,
no, and every time I pump my fists and I say down with the man or whatever.
They got to get that in there. Like, hey, of course you guys are going to make me pay. I didn't do anything. I'm just a poor, unlucky guy, blah, blah, blah.
It's so like if Netflix gave Fugazi millions of dollars.
The cops are not sympathetic. They write him a ticket anyway. His girlfriend attempts to flirt to get out of the ticket with Gi-Hun. Can't blame her.
Straight up says you're hot, which
Guys,
is amazing.
I thought this was really funny.
Yeah,
like that.
She's goofy and it is silly. Yeah.
And she's assuming cops are so base level that she can just do that. I thought that was great.
It is. It's charming. I think Gi-Hun plays it off pretty well, like how he just completely ignores her and doesn't care. It seems
no, that's
for
funny
him.
too.
The boyfriend is really pissed off about this because he feels like maybe she really is interested in Gi-Hun. And he just leaves her on the motorbike with his ticket. And
I
he's
think he might have been being cute there too, though, at this point.
It could be. Yeah. All we see is
I thought that.
He's just gone and she's screaming at him that he's an asshole. And that's our scene. But these cops, we'll meet them later. We have Gi-Hun. This is what he does now. Although I don't know if it says it yet. I don't know if you're supposed to know that. But I mean, that is him. And he's got an apprentice.
You're supposed to, because they close in on his face for too long.
I got you. Yeah, see, it's just hard because when I first watched the scene, I didn't know that was him. I had no idea. So you missed the 2-year jump, and you just think Gi-Hun's in the hospital. So at this point, we hear a man on the street call to our police officer who just issued the citation. He calls him. Does he call him by his name? Does he say Gi-Hun? I think he does. But he calls out to him, and then he says, "Is this why you transferred into the traffic beat," or whatever he's doing? Is this why you left your last position to give out tickets and be called a stupid pig? Immediately, though, as soon as we meet this guy behind him screaming at him like, is this why you took this position? We go to a restaurant and they are seated across from each other. They're eating lunch.
Looks good.
It does look
good. It looks so good.
It does. They're catching up. But this is mostly an exposition dump, honestly, because we learn this is his former chief. And this is who he worked for when he was investigating the Squid Games on his own. Like, they didn't send him to do that. He was going rogue, as they
wouldn't
say.
have minded if a thing popped up on the screen that said, "This is why we have a second season."
So the chief says, like, look, come back to major crimes is what he was doing before he went to traffic. And he said, I'm sorry that we couldn't do anything with the reports. What happened is, you took pictures. We never got them. And we can't find your phone. We can't find the island. We have no evidence, and we need evidence. Firefighters use water to do their job, and we use evidence to do ours. So it's a big lecture.
These are Korean cops. These aren't American cops. American cops don't need evidence or anything. They plant shit, and they just hit things.
What we know in this scene is that Gi-Hun is happy, or so he says, in traffic. He says, we don't need evidence beyond they ran the red light. They didn't wear a helmet, and that's good enough for me. This is where I need to be right now. So the chief's attempt to say, hey, we miss you. I respect you. I'm sorry we couldn't put the front man away. Come back. And Gi-Hun says no.
Tyler.
And then he says, like, by the way, this is the key takeaway of this scene, as he says, you don't know who shot you? This is where Gi-Hun has to lie, and his eyes do a real obvious kind of, no, I don't. I have no idea who shot. I mean, it wasn't my brother.
Which should be a real indicator that he knows the person.
Our next scene, we see a couple trying to get into a motel. There's a weird argument about whether the light being off means anything, whether it means no one's there, the boyfriend getting mad. This whole thing seems to be just to set up what Gi-Hun's new headquarters is. What he's done since choosing to stay and not go back to the United States, but stay and hunt down Frontman and bust the Squid Game's ring open. He's got like a little recon facilities where he's got a bunch of CCTV monitors set up, and he's kind of surveying the whole area. It's called the Pink Motel is where he's in. And it's a pretty cool place. And this is kind of his lair now.
Hey, Spencer, did you know that giant squid have eyeballs that are the same size as a standard baseball?
No, that's
It's a
really
giant
big.
squid eyeball. It's a big eyeball.
That's too big of an eye.
It's too big of an eye for Roy Oswald to throw.
No, he could do it. He could throw a squid's eye from here to there.
He's got country arms.
So,
Spencer, did you know that most of the time squids are loners in the water? However, there have been small groups of them that are identified.
yeah, they seem like loners. Just look at them. There's no way they're social animals. I don't
Squid
believe
fact.
it.
The squids don't hang out.
How?
They're not like sharing stuff with their beaks or
How
whatever.
do squids fuck?
Beaks?
Ink
They ink
Beaks
into
and
each
ink?
other's beaks. Yeah.
Okay.
into their
Okay.
baseball eyes.
Did you know, and I'm not looking at my screen. I know this is a squid fact. Did you know that most squid only mate once in their life and then they die?
Like me. Yeah.
I think
okay.
I had heard that, but I forgot about it. So after the couple does leave with their argument still happening, the door starts buzzing at Gi-Hun's hideout just constantly in a way that would make me very angry if somebody was ringing the doorbell or beating on the door at this interval. It's nonstop. There's no pause between it at all. It sounds
It's
urgent.
anxiety inducing.
Yes, I hated
Horrible.
it. It upset me, and it upsets Gi-Hun too, but for different reasons. He reaches for his gun because he's thinking something is not good about this, and he goes to the door. It's very tense. He says, "Who is it?" But no one ever answers that in a TV show or a movie when someone unknown is at the door. No one's going to be like, "Oh, it's just a non-threatening person back here. You're fine."
And if they don't, by the way, you guys aren't even opening that door, right? I'm not.
I had
gotta
someone
not
know.
even
knock on
doing
my
the
door at
people.
like 9 o'clock
No.
the other night, and I didn't get it. What do you got for me at 9 o'clock or ever? But
I had
especially at
one
9
too,
p.m.
and I was very much listening to an album, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather listen to than this door knock. The rest of this album.
So Gi-Hun does not get an answer. He does look down at the floor and see a familiar business card. However, you guys probably recognize the card. It's got the PlayStation logos on it, the triangle,
Mhm.
circle, all that. It's the Squid Games card. The tension's really mounting, and he decides he's going to fling that door open and see what's in front of it. Probably nothing, right? Just all that build up for nothing. Oh no, it's Frontman, and he's holding Cybox and Song-Woo's head. They're severed heads, and they open their eyes. This seems very dangerous at this time, and Gi-Hun fires. He's
Bang,
decided
bang.
this is a moment that I will use my gun repeatedly at Frontman, and he shoots and shoots and shoots to no avail. That's because it was a nightmare.
And to his credit, that it's okay to shoot your gun if you open your door and there's someone holding two severed heads. Shoot,
You got
that's
got
fine.
severed heads in front of
Yeah.
you. Fire away.
Even before that, I assume you guys agree. Like you were like, this is a dream.
Well, yeah.
Well,
it-
sure.
I was just kind of wondering. So, did he also dream about the couple too? That's a really weird dream
Which
to have.
part?
The part where the couple doesn't,
yeah.
they're outside and they don't want to come in or they don't know if anyone's in the motel. It seems like they
Yeah.
led straight from that scene into the dream sequence. So you're wondering
Yeah.
like, so that
What's
happened
real,
and then
what's
we went
not?
into the dream, or did Gi-Hun just have a really boring dream followed by that dream that came afterwards?
Well, it does have the like slight sepia tone thing, you know?
Yeah, it might have transitioned just subtly. It just was
Yeah.
one after the other. We went straight from the couple to dunk, 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 or no, sorry, there's not a dunk, dunk, dunk sound. It's bzzz,
Yeah,
bzzz.
horrible buzz.
So when he wakes, because that was just a dream, we find out the door actually is buzzing. So it's one of those things where, you know, you hear something in your dream, but it's really happening. I have that all the time with cat
I'm
meows,
into it.
where it's like,
Me
there's
too.
this fucking cat waking me up in my dream, and then there's really a cat that's doing that. Yeah, there really is someone at the door, but it's not Frontman holding our friends from season 1's head. It's just Kim, the head of the loan sharks from Sunshine Capital, who they were very bad people in season 1, and now they're kind of pals with Gi-Hun. So they're working together now because Gi-Hun is is he a millionaire? Is he a billionaire? I don't know. It's Juan.
He is a
He's got
billionaire.
a lot.
He's
I
a
think it's
billionaire with
billionaire,
Juan.
yeah.
And so he's paid off his debts and then some quite a while ago. And so Kim, our loan shark leader guy, they're on good terms now, and he's actually working with Gi-Hun trying to find the recruiter. And this is where he is just stopping in, I guess, to visit Gi-Hun. He says, hey, I've got food and medicine for you. So it's like a supply run. He's just bringing him some goods.
It's Robert Forster bringing the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus to Walter White. That's exactly what we're seeing here.
We have to talk about this all the time, but it's actually Mr. Megorium's Water Emporium.
I'm sticking with what I say every time.
No, yours is the Heath Ledger thing. Mine is a thing with Natalie Portman and Dustin Hoffman.
Kim provides a status update of the day's search. It's a lot like how it's been going for a long time now. They check subways 1 through 4 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Jared's
It's a bunch of stuff, and
Good.
they're not having any luck. So Gi-Hun says, well, it just so happens that this trip and this episode, now that we're actually showing our meetings that we'd presumably been having for years, this particular one is when it's time to start really making a point to catch them after these 2 years we've been searching. Because he says,
that was
hey,
all for, we just
before-
half-assed it.
yeah, if I were Kim, I'd be like, okay, why now are we going all out? But
Well, I wanted
it's
to wait
TV.
till I was physically deteriorated a bit.
Gi-Hun says, it was around this time of year that I ran into the recruiter when he first slapped me in the face and told me to join the Squid Games. And if we don't get him now, we might have to wait a whole other year for this. So we've got to make it happen. It's time to expand the search. And Kim says, like, well, how are we going to do that? It's going to take a lot more resources because Gi-Hun said, we're checking every single train all day. We're not missing a single one. And Kim is like, holy shit.
That's
We're not going to be
cost
able to
a
do that.
lot of money.
So you know what
This
Gi-Hun
is
does?
a lot of research to conduct.
Gi-Hun just picks up a giant bag of money and just hands it to Kim in
Just like
response.
slams it on the table.
So
It's so
Kim
much
sees
money.
that and is like, okay, let's get this done then. I guess we'll bring some more guys in on this operation that we're doing.
One thing I love about his character is he kind of buys into it. And obviously Gi-Hun is correct. Like he knows what he's talking about, but nobody really believes him. But this guy's like, if anybody's going to spend this much money doing something went down. So I kind of believe him. And I just like that his character is almost a little sweet this season.
Kim
Look,
is likable in this whole thing. He's like an ally of Gi-Hun now. They're friends. They're working together. And yeah, everyone else says, do you really think this thing's real? And Kim keeps being like, look, I know it's fucking crazy, but yes, I think this is happening. There's a recruiter out there slapping people and giving them business cards, playing Dokshi. Is that how you say it? Dokshi?
I think so.
Dokshi.
Because it's like a DJ. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
I'm doing my
probably
best. I don't
something.
know.
I'm
I
from
can't-
the worst place. Like
Yeah,
all of us.
we don't know how to say words like that where we're all from. Kim returns to the van with this news and this bag of money. And there's a group of, I guess they're all loan sharks, but they work in conjunction with Kim. They're all under him and they do his bidding. They're kind of minions. They go out into the world and collect what's
They're
owed to
green
them.
and they're really short and they wear overall.
Yellow is the little correction there.
Are they
but
yellow?
yes, they're yellow. Yeah. They look like little
Huh.
banana guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, they're
Kim
really
says-
big on the internet.
Kim
Their
says
dicks are
this-
green. So to be fair to you,
That's why I thought that. That's mostly what
And
I've seen.
We are talking about the loan shark guys. If the viewers listeners
Yeah.
are wondering, yes,
Sure.
we're talking
Yes.
about the loan sharks.
big yellow guys with green dicks. That's exactly. The yellow. Maybe we shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, that's
That
we do not mean the guys in the van at that
That
point.
was that
No.
was not intentional.
Maybe we do.
Kim tells the guys in the van, all right, things are about to get a lot more serious right now. We're going to have to up our game and do a lot more searching. The stakes are high. We got to do this. It's now
Put your
it's now or
goggles
never.
and your overalls on and
Yeah, exactly.
squeak and do whatever it is you
That's-
minions do.
The group says, no, like this is stupid. There's nothing out there. We've been doing it for 2 years. And Kim says, look, I know. This is what Van was alluding to. Kim says, I know it sounds crazy and maybe he is crazy, but he could be right too. And he's paying all this money. Like Van said, I think something's out there. And by the way, there's a 1 billion won reward for this now. And that gets their attention. These are
I think this is really
Money.
similar to what Tom DeLonge from Blink 182 goes through when he's like, you guys, there's aliens. Here's a bunch of money.
He tells the group, whoever finds them, you get half of that 1 billion won. The group has a new pep in its step. The van drives off excitedly. They're totally in now. They are going to have to get a lot of other people. This is like, 10 of them. They have to bring in a lot of new people, but they're excited.
I was impressed they got this many people already, though.
Yeah,
I was like,
sure.
go team. Go
Because I
team.
assume it so far anyway, they're not making that much money. And it's probably
No.
more annoying than anything to search and not find anything. So yeah, that they're still out there doing it. They're dedicated people.
Well, a squid is able to swim by sucking water into the mantle cavity. They then remove it
That's
through
true.
the siphon. This process continues all day long, even when they're sleeping. You got sleepy squid in your hands. Poor little guy, little bugger.
We return to Gi-Hun for the next scene. So here he's meeting the sea captain who rescued him originally after his brother shot him and he fell off a cliff. This is his rescuer who, in a really wholesome way, has stayed in his life and continues to take him out into the ocean on voyages to try to find that island. So they don't know where it is. They only know where he was found. And there's a bunch of islands that it could have been where he was discovered. So they're just kind of taking shots in the dark at various islands. And they've been doing it for 2 years, much like Gi-Hun has been searching for Frontman for a couple of years. So Gi-Hun is doing his own search, and this is his partner in the process of doing that. He mentions they've been going for a year and a half, so not quite 2 years in their part. A year and a half, nothing so far. They set out on a new journey together to continue this quest. At Sunshine Capital, the loan sharks are gathered. They've got their new minions that are helping them to apprehend the recruiter. They even have a dummy set up that shows like, here's what the recruiter would look like if he were a dummy. And
It's
they've
got a
got
little
him,
drawn face.
yeah, they've got
It's
him in
hideous.
a nice
It's
little
great.
suit. And so the guy who's briefing them all says, here's what to look for when you're out there in the world looking for the recruiter. We got a tall guy. He's probably over 6 feet. He's good looking. He's going to be in a nice suit. He's always got a briefcase.
No.
There's a
Inside
briefcase,
that
yeah.
briefcase is some doc sheet and a whole bunch of money. He gives them the
And
business
bread.
card. You guys know that business card. And they say, when you see this card, take a picture, call the number that we gave you to reach us, and let us know where you are.
They bring up the group chat, and I don't know, it just kind of struck me as cute.
So Kim hands out the assignments. The leader, the loan shark guy, Kim, he says, here's where everyone's going to go. Don't skip a single station because they have to be exhaustive in their search. The group eagerly departs. There's a lot of really excited guys. They think they're all going to get 500 million won, even though only one of them could. Kim calls Gi-Hun and says, we're underway. We're out here doing your bidding. We're going to find him. And Gi-Hun says, good. I am ready. I have 14 tablets. I'm monitoring the whole thing. Just give me a call whenever you guys find him and I will be there.
I'll
And
be
all
on that
those-
roof looking
What
for
are
you.
all those things doing?
I don't
Candy
know.
Crush.
So here we cue our montage scene, just cuts between Gi-Hun and their search and Gi-Hun and their search. So Gi-Hun is out in the ocean. Gi-Hun and his people are pounding the streets. They're on the subways. They're trying to find their recruiter while Gi-Hun tries to find the island. They're both doing their thing. There's music playing. The days are going by. We see the calendar. They did try to make it contemporary and they tried to make it somewhat nuanced, but it is just a montage scene like you've seen
Yeah.
every time that they do this kind of
This
thing.
whole episode, if it has a really big fault to me, it's that it just really wants you to get to the second one.
A lot of setup.
Yeah.
As the days go by and August is upon them, neither side has been successful in their search, as you can imagine. Things are getting worse. You can see the storms battering the ship. There's loan sharks that are getting tired of moving through the subways and not finding anything. They feel like this is a target we're never going to find. The fatigue is setting in. They were excited at first. They're not anymore. Everyone's getting frustrated. The sea captain is especially fed up. He has a kind of a little bit of a meltdown on the boat and says, there's like hundreds of islands in a 6-mile radius where I picked you up. It's impossible to do this. Why I'm just now getting mad about it after a year and a half, I don't know. But I am really mad and I'm sick of it. And
It's
Gi-Hun
the same
says,
thing I had in my notes.
it's such a convenient time for everyone to be like, oh, no more plot device. So Gi-Hun says, sea captain, you're right. I don't think we should do this anymore. We should make this our last search. The sea captain's kind of like, what? No, let's not, we don't need to quit. I was just venting. I like you. I like hanging out with you. I'm sorry you're not going to be coming by anymore.
Like, I gotta let it out so I can continue to look for this mysterious island.
We're bonding. I'm complaining. It's how this works.
He even offers Gi-Hun a job on the ship. If he's like, if we're not going to do this anymore, come help me catch squids, I think he says. Like, he's like, I'll pay you more than you're making as a cop. They like each other. They're fond of each other.
Good buds. He's my favorite new character so far.
Yeah,
The sea
he
captain.
rules.
So finally, after all of this searching unsuccessfully, Kim and Choi and their pairing, they do have a breakthrough. Choi is one of the primary of Kim's right-hand men. They actually have become friends over the years. It's a sweet little story. Kim
It's kinda
officiated
cute,
his
yeah.
wedding, apparently. So it started kind of like I think he and Gi-Hun did, where they were adversaries and he was collecting a debt. And then at some point, maybe Troy was just an employee, but over time they have become friends. So they actually do know each other and care about each other. And this is a fun little pairing that we get to see more of than the other part of the team out there searching as well. It is these two who have the breakthrough as they're sitting side by side in another subway, another summer day, searching in the subways, and Choi's bitching about the food. He's like, construction workers eat better than this. And then Kim's like, you ungrateful son of a bitch. And then
their food always looks so good, like Korean snacks always.
I was totally, and I thought Kim reading his lines and just devouring his food was really enjoyable. I just thought that was well done.
The guy has, I don't know what it's called in Korean, but it's onigiri or onigari. I can't remember in Japanese, the rice ball thing that you hold with seaweed. Those are so good.
Yeah, I would just stuff that in my face.
Right now, I take one. While Kim is scolding Choi for being ungrateful, it is like, at least you have a job. We're working through the summer. Who cares? We're going to find him eventually. We got another thing. This is like, they've kind of gone to this well too many times now where Choi's like, you think this is real? You think Gi-Hun's crazy? And it's, okay, we get it. Kim's on his side. So he says it again. In the middle of them bickering, you hear the smack of a dokji, whatever they are, a dokji hitting the ground.
Pog is really what it is. It's pogs.
Pogs.
It's what you do with pogs. You throw it one, it bounces.
I don't think so. I didn't see Alf or Shaq on it.
It's like a mixture of a beanbag and a pog, because they look like beanbags to me. So Kim calls Gi-Hun to let him know that they found their guy. He provides the location, and Gi-Hun's on the way. He's like, fuck yeah, I'll be right there.
No, it's more like, I'll be there after quite some time. He keeps saying, like, I'm going to hurry and rush there. I'll be right there. And we got like 30 minutes of the episode of him trying to get there.
Got to build the
what
tension,
is he
man.
been doing also? Like, I don't know.
You're right.
He's been waiting for this moment for 2 years, and he's like, okay, all right, and then doesn't get there.
I'm going to go 35 all the way there.
Briefly, we learn a little bit about the character who's playing Dokshi with the recruiter. It's just a short cutaway.
Bucket hat guy.
Yeah, which I didn't really notice that much about him like you guys did. I guess his hat was memorable.
He's the lead singer of Wheatus.
Teenage Dirtbag, right? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So the man who gets the business card, he does beat the recruiter, and the recruiter says, good job, you can play in the Squid Games, like Gi-Hun experienced that one time. He's looking at the card, his phone starts buzzing. He gets a call from who we discover is his love interest, who appears to be at a gynecology and obstetrics office. So she's on the other end of the phone, and we flash to her. She does not get an answer, but we do see when we see her in the office waiting for her appointment that she also has this business card. I guess she also played. I don't know, but she's got the same card that her love interest has. They don't speak, but they're both looking at the same business card. So it looks to me like they are both interested in the Squid Games. And then instead of staying for her appointment, when the medical assistant, the attendant, whatever, the lady comes out to call her name and say, hey, your appointment, it's time. She's not there. She's left.
She's got to give birth to a squid.
Yeah. She doesn't need the care for her unborn child because she's got to go into the Squid Games, I think is what we're getting here.
Yeah, we've all been there. Like, a lot of times I'm thinking about doing something. I'm like, Squid Games.
So now we have the setup here. We have two characters we haven't yet met, but they have been impacted by the recruiter, and they are possibly going to be in the rest of the show. Although
what
we've already said,
what do you guys think about these characters at this time?
I'm curious.
Having watched the whole season, do you like them?
Mm-hmm. I want to know. I want to know what's going on here.
I feel like we're just setting up the characters to be in the Squid Game, so I have no opinion yet, other than Bucket Hat. Like Bucket Hat made me go.
Call here.
Well,
either he dies.
It makes
or
you think
wins.
of Bucket Hat, who releases 74 albums a year of aimless guitar music.
I did like the touch that she's at the obstetrics appointment. Sure. I thought that was interesting because obviously she's dealing with something in her personal situation while doing the Squid Game. So I thought it was just tantalizing enough. And then, of course, this is all we see for this episode of these two.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're done after this. But they'll be back.
So with the search for the recruiter having had a breakthrough, we get to see what the recruiter is actually up to and what he does when he goes about his day. We get a little whimsical music actually playing in the background. He is going around buying some stuff in bulk, namely bread and scratcher tickets. This is the title of the episode. That we're getting the theme right here. He just buys a whole bunch of bread. It looks really good. It looks kind of moist. And then a bunch of scratcher tickets, which the guy behind the counter gives him some shit for. Which is
why this is not realistic. If this were realistic, that clerk has seen people come in hundreds of times and buy hundreds of dollars worth of scratcher tickets because the scratcher people are nuts and they do that. They'll buy the whole roll and win $500, except they spent $2,000 to get there. And they're like, hell yeah, I won. It's
all three of us have worked at establishments that enabled slot-style gambling. It is depressing. I'm thinking of Ron Uzel. That's a deep cut for Brian Smith. He listens to this sometimes.
So he's carrying his signature briefcase because that's what the recruiter does. He goes around in his briefcase everywhere. And
I do love briefcases. I can't fault him for that.
His is also a functional
I don't have
briefcase.
one. I just think they're cool.
As we will later see. He's not just decoration. This briefcase isn't.
Multi-use.
So he walks right past Kim and Choi after he buys this stuff. They're on their stakeout. They're waiting for him to come back out. He is headed for the park. And Kim calls Gi-Hun with yet another update because, as Van mentioned earlier, Gi-Hun is supposed to be on the way, but continues to need to get updates as to where the recruiter is all this time.
Did you guys wonder why he isn't more actively involved in this process right now?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's sort of the HQ of the whole thing, but he could also just be there. Like, he suspects where
but
he believes.
He doesn't get out. He hides and stays. He's
in the
afraid.
Pink Motel.
That's why he's got all this security cameras. So I don't think he would get out unless he has to.
I guess you're right.
Although he's on that roof, though.
Yeah, and he pulled a thing out of his fucking head and bled everywhere. So I guess, he has reason to think, he also has 400 billion currency units. So, he knows that he's kind of, being hunted. So, yeah, okay.
At the park, the recruiter approaches a man sleeping on a bench. He's clearly down on his luck. He offers the man the same choice that he's about to offer everyone else in this situation in the park. So he holds out the bread. He holds out the scratcher tickets. It looks like, because the man on the bench thinks this is a great pairing I'm being offered right now. I wake up from my nap in public. I'm getting a scratcher ticket and a meal. That's amazing.
I can eat and gamble. Hell yeah.
The recruiter says...
That's the whole city I live in.
That's true. Wait, or don't live in. It's possible you do and possible you don't.
Well, I could be. I'm talking about Miami, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Or Joplin, Missouri. Who knows?
Yeah.
Jordan.
So this is the choice that every one of these people gets. Bread or scratcher ticket. And as you guys know, and would have guessed, many of them pick the scratcher ticket. And none of them win, of course. But most of them would rather take a chance on changing their luck than having their next meal.
I don't like that none of them won.
Yeah, at least
that is not realistic. Someone would win $3.
Yeah, and as they're scratchers, we see them, and they're 3 things, and it's like, get a 7, a 7, a 7. So in that style of game, you don't have one winner take all and then 6,000 losers. You have a couple of little winners. And so I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
Somebody should have won $3, $2.
I get the point they're trying to make, but someone should have won, and I feel like a point should have been made about that too. In a certain way of
and that even that's not really a victory.
Yeah, you're temporarily abating a problem. You're not actually solving any.
So when the recruiter is finished giving everyone their choice, and we only see one person take the bread of everyone he goes up to. So for the most part, there's the entire supply of bread that the recruiter bought is completely untouched. It's a lot of bread, and it looks very good.
I wanted it so bad. I wanted to put it in the oven and put butter on it.
After the recruiter gives everyone the chance, he goes and he stands in the middle. This is a public place. They can all see him. He goes to where he's very visible. He dumps all of the bread onto the ground, and just doing that has immediately freaked all these very hungry people out. Just at that, saying please don't waste this food. It's perfectly good. The recruiter, this is his moment to shine. I was telling you guys, this is the scene that I like the most of him. This is the only time we see the recruiter lose his composure. The entire episode, he's pretty calm. This is the one time he's not. He puts the food on the ground and then just goes insane, stepping on it as hard as he can. His hair gets all messed up. He's making squealing noises. He's all worked up, and he's panting and sweating. He really means this with his whole heart as he's smashing this bread in the ground beneath him, to everyone's horror, because his food, it's gone. So the recruiter says is a big burn to these men who are just very impoverished and in terrible situations. He says, I didn't waste perfectly good food. You did, because you had the chance to eat it and you didn't want it. You gambled instead. So I didn't do this. You did this to yourself. So after doing this incredibly fucked up social experiment and then destroying the food in front of everyone, he's done. He's departing the scene. He's done. He's had his moment now. And we cut to Gi-Hun, he seems to be in a hurry. And he has actually been driving so fast, in fact, that he's getting pulled over. What two cops would be just the right ones to pull Gi-Hun over? Well, let's bring back...
It's Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy from 48 Hours.
Let's bring back our first two cops that we opened the episode with, Jung-Ho and his young, naive apprentice partner fellow.
His Young-Ho.
Who he's letting take the ropes here.
Yo-yo to his Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to get a donut for what was that, 5 cents?
It was, 7 cents and like a 20-cent coffee,
I've never lived in a city redacted that has so many donut shops, by the way. It's donut shops everywhere.
Jung-Ho lets his young apprentice take over here. He's like, you can do this. You need to get some practice. So,
okay, I did think that was a nice little twist because they're setting it up to where Jung-Ho's going to just walk. He's going to see how it's going to be. And then he's like, at the last possible second, why don't you take this one, buddy? I kind of liked it.
Gi-Hun is not really making a lot of eye contact here. He looks straight ahead, which is kind of how I behaved the last time I got a speeding ticket, where I just kind of didn't acknowledge him, didn't say much of anything.
When was this?
It's like 6 months ago, maybe like 6. It was probably last November when I drove to Texas. So it was.
That's right.
It was not long ago, but I got
shout
a
out
speeding
cousin
ticket.
Oren.
Yep.
I'm just shouting people out left.
He's
and right.
probably not going to listen, but nonetheless,
I've never
if he
met
does,
Oren, and that's a shame. Oren, I'd like to meet you.
Well,
This
I'll
is
have to tell him to listen to this for sure.
A
now.
call to arms.
Senator Orrin Hatch is who you guys are talking about. I'm
Yes.
assuming,
No,
right?
Spencer's cousin is not 148 years old.
So Gi-Hun, he's just kind of going along with his fate. He's not saying much. It could be, I guess he doesn't really want to draw attention to himself, I guess. So he doesn't have anything to say to this ticket process. And this is just a brief cut. We don't see the whole thing yet. Because we
His
got to
eyes
go back.
say a lot, though. He is
they say a
so
lot.
mad.
They got to go back to the recruiter. He's leaving the park, and Kim and Choi are scrambling because Gi-Hun's not here, and they got to keep the trail active. So they place a frantic call to Gi-Hun saying, come on, hurry up, he's leaving. And they have to jump into a cab to follow the recruiter in his cab, wherever he's going. Meanwhile,
Chase scene.
Gi-Hun is getting his ticket. This is all happening simultaneously. So Gi-Hun gets his ticket, snatches it from the young officer's hand as soon as he gets it, and just immediately squeals tires, driving off as fast as he can, trying to get to the recruiter. So Jung-Ho approaches the young guy, says, that was fast. What did you do? Did you fuck something up? Yeah, it's did you do everything right? Is how he says it. And the officer says, yeah, he just took his ticket and drove off. He didn't say anything. And that's when Jung-Ho says, that's suspicious, which I thought, no, I did that. I didn't say anything to the cop when he gave me my ticket. What are you going to say? Jung-Ho is very curious. He's like, whether we think that this is suspicious or not, it's not. Jung-Ho thinks it is and says, well, let me take a look at this. Because he asked him, did you pull the record? The officer says, yeah, there's nothing on it. He doesn't have anything on his record. He just drove up without saying anything. Jung-Ho looks at his name, sees Gi-Hun, and we get a moment of realization here. It's just in Jung-Ho's eyes. These character paths, they're about to collide. It's going to be a big moment in the show.
This might as well be Campbell and Battlefield for the intersection.
It is. That's a nice Springfield, Missouri reference, which you might still live in.
I might. Who knows? Who knows where I live?
Yeah.
Jung-Ho is temporarily out of the picture. We've seen enough to know what's going to happen with that. We have to go back and we have to follow Kim and Choi again because they're on the recruiter's tail. They have him what they think to be cornered in an alley, and Gi-Hun's nowhere. He's just not coming. They've waited and they've decided they're going to have to take matters into their own hands here. So
he's like Sting. He's really tantric. He's just not coming.
They decide, look, it's Kim tries to tell Choi. He's like, look, you trust me. I'll give you your half of the money. I officiated your wedding. It's two of us. There's just one of him. We can take him. They go in the alleyway after him, and they don't take him. It doesn't go well at all. Kim is dispatched immediately, and then it leaves Choi to fight him off. He tries to get his knife out and fight him, but the recruiter is just too tough, and he beats the shit out of him, hits him in the head with his briefcase. Like we mentioned, we said
you
the
guys
briefcase
like
had
this?
other...
Is this it's too much for that character?
I mean, it's something that they probably didn't have to do this way. That's for sure.
Yeah. It felt egregious, but
I thought
not
so
that
too.
bad.
I'm not mad about it, but it's why is he a badass?
I guess they had to...
Because he's not. He is a little fucking mental weasel.
I guess they had to get him to get the information on Gi-Hun somehow. So they had to do something with this. Physically overpowering them is just how it worked, apparently. Yeah. At the police station, Jung-ho is searching Gi-Hun's information that he's just come across. He sees Gi-Hun's picture in the file and connects the dots because these two did meet in season 1 briefly. They came face to face when Jung-ho was saying, hey, can you help me find my brother? Yeah, so we get that scene. We know they met each other before. He runs.
So that was early in season 1, right? That wasn't after Gi-Hun had already won.
It was pretty. I think it was when Gi-Hun was in between trips there, right? Because
when they went and voted to get off,
right? And then he changed his mind. He's like, I'm going back. So it would have been, I think, season or episode 2, maybe. It would have been.
I like
in the
this
show.
too. Like I like this added detail to something we kind of knew.
Yeah, it's a nice little flashback reference there. So they did meet once, and Jung-ho remembers. So he runs the plates. He determines the car that Gi-Hun was driving came from a rental company.
Cake ass.
So he has another lead to follow up on here. As for Gi-Hun, he finally has arrived at the park that Kim and Choi were at hours ago. Like just forever. It hasn't been hours, but it feels like it. He's just now getting there. He tries calling Kim's number. It goes straight to voicemail. That's never a good thing. So there's no sign of any of them there. But he does go in the alleyway. He does see the blood on the trash bag. He sees the knife on the sewer grate. So he's got an idea.
Bob Dylan album from the 60s.
He's got an idea that something went down here with the recruiter, and it's not good because he can't get hold of Kim or Choi. Meanwhile, we find out from watching from above, like a really good vantage view, unseen on a nearby building. It's the recruiter. He's just up there watching Gi-Hun way below him.
Seems
hate
like
this
if
guy.
Gi-Hun would have looked around, he might have seen him.
In this scene, I hate this guy because this is like Superman shit. Like, do you guys know what I mean? Like, I like that he's fallible, and that comes up later big time. But in this scene, he's like omnipresent. It's like, why are you here? Why are you not watching Squid Game on Netflix?
He's impossible to stop. So meanwhile, Jung-ho is following up on his lead that we just talked about. He's at the car rental agency. There's a woman behind the desk. She tells him, hey, this particular car rented by a company called Sunshine Capital. Jung-ho asks for the address. So he's been successful in his lead. We're threading his plot in there. Now we know where his next step is going to be. Next, we're back with the recruiter. And we can decide how much we want to get into this scene, how detailed we want to get with it. It's quite tense. He's got his new captives. They're bound and gagged, and they're sitting across from each other. The recruiter is having a great time. He puts on a record. It's got like an ominous melody in the backdrop.
Yeah, I do this all the time.
It was a cool record player.
Yeah,
like, I was
nice.
excited when I saw it.
I wanted it so bad.
He tells Kim and Choi they're going to play a game called Rock, Paper, Scissors -1, which I had not heard of.
That's called. It's called Russian Roulette.
He's also mixing in another game that Brian just said called Russian Roulette because the loser...
Shoot yourself in the head. I love it, is what he's saying.
The loser of this Rock, Paper, Scissors -1, they get to do a round of Russian Roulette. So he cheerfully describes Russian Roulette in a way that I've never thought of before, which is that at least your odds of survival are 5 of 6 every time you shoot it.
That is so stupid. You know what your odds are of survival other than that? Way higher.
Yeah.
Like, he's phrasing it as some sort of, like, virtuous thing. By participating in it, you like, get something out of it. And I don't know. This is the sort of, like, villain celebration I don't necessarily like in shows.
He's over the top.
Does this make sense to you guys? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's sort of like heralding him as some sort of, like, cool guy. And I don't really like that. I like the parts where he's a loser, and that comes up later.
I do think that they've reached the point where they're really giving him his moment, and this is obviously he's the star of this episode, kind of. So they really gave him a lot, and he's got quite a backstory, maybe a little more than he should have had as just a humble recruiter type.
One of my favorite things about like murderer movies that do it right, like in Seven, is Kevin Spacey is a big loser, like in real life. You never empathize. I don't want to have to empathize with this guy. And the show tries to make him cool a little bit. And I don't necessarily like that.
Odds of survival being 5 of 6 is still pretty scary. And that's kind of what we see here, which is that Choi, who goes first, he's so nervous that they do this rock, paper, scissors thing. He can't even get his hands to make the shapes. The recruiter says that this disqualifies Choi in the first round here because he did not do what he has to do. So he loses automatically. He gets fired on. The gun clicks empty because, again, there was only a 1 in 6 chance that it would shoot him, and it didn't. They start a new round. Choi does win this one, but again, the gun clicks empty when the recruiter fires at Kim. Choi loses the next round and again survives the trigger being pulled. It goes back and forth. They're both living through those 1 in 6 odds for now. So, of course, the recruiters had enough of tormenting them at this level and now decides, let's get this thing over with, and says, what if we reverse the odds? And we say instead of 1 in 6 chance of dying, it's a 1 in 6 chance of survival. So we'll do that instead, and puts 5 bullets in the gun, leaves only 1 blank spot. What happens next is he makes them pick up the speed too, so they're throwing their hands together very quickly, and they both know who loses next is going to die. It's a 5 in 6 chance they're going to die. So the characters are sobbing. They're throwing their hands together, trying to desperately do the rock, paper, scissors game. It is tense. I will say it's upsetting. It's tense. Eventually, Kim is disqualified because he fails to take one away. So I don't even understand how the game works when you take one away. But he doesn't react quick enough, I guess, and he has both his hands out. So he loses by disqualification. And that,
well, yeah, and it's the whole thing is he's in control now because the other guy put his 2 down. He has no chance of winning. So all he has to do is pull one arm back, no matter what, and he's won. And to do that would mean he's killing the other person, essentially.
And he won't.
And he can't bring himself to do it, so he just freezes.
That makes sense.
That.
I didn't even pick that up. I thought he froze on his own, like just couldn't go through with it.
No, he's a real person, so he's not willing to let someone else take that.
And again, we have to appreciate Kim in this moment here. He's a likable guy for what we get of him, which is about to be done. Because these low odds of survival we talked about, the 1 in 6, it doesn't work. He does get shot. The recruiter congratulates Choi on his win and says, all right, now that that's done, do you have a moment to talk? So Choi, of course, is all upset, crying, and his friend just died right in front of him. He's got no choice. He says yes. He's going to have to tell the recruiter what he wants to know. Back to Sunshine Capital. Love that place. Let's go there. Jung-ho finds the main entrance chained up. So like anyone, he just climbs the building and enters through a window because he's
Just
not
like
going to give up.
Pretty,
He's Jung-ho.
pretty cool. Just scoots right up it. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's
good at
like he's
parkour.
gargantua. He just goes right up it. 3rd floor.
Okay, one thing, you just stole a thing I was going to say, man. And number 2, how long would it take for you at all to train to do this?
Couldn't.
Years. If
Would it be
ever.
possible at all?
Not
I don't
now.
think I could
Maybe-
ever.
maybe
Probably
like-
not, no.
Maybe like 10, 15 years ago, but not now. It'd be like,
I was able to get good at bowling. I don't think I could scale a building.
Yeah, I'm not very
I
good
was
at
so
climbing.
light, I bet I could do it back then, years ago. But
Oh, yeah. No,
Not
that's
now.
true. Van was once a 6'4", 94 pounds at one time, and I think he could have gotten up there like an earthworm Jim type at that time.
I was just never into the rock climbing sort of thing that some people say.
Sure.
It was like really good
Yeah.
for your actual strength, which I never really had. You know, I'd been to the gym, but I never had strength you could use ever.
You were the strongest of the 3.
Well, I
of
wasn't
us.
strong though. It's
Yeah.
like it's the cosmetic thing, you know, where it's not like I was ripped. Let's not put that out there. But if I had muscles, it was like I can't use these things. Like, I mean, I
they're
was
not functional.
Yeah.
not at all. I was never strong. It was just like I don't know how to train for like actual, like if I were to be in the NFL or so, I don't know how to do that. So I probably could never have climbed very well, even at my youngest. Healthiest.
Strongest I've ever been, I looked disgusting because it was when I worked in a warehouse.
Oh, that's
And-
right. Yeah, and you actually
Yeah.
were physically like
I was,
functionally
like,
strong back then.
Pretty fucking strong, but I was also eating a lot of Taco Bell and drinking an amount of alcohol that was like not cool. So the combination of that was I was like 5'11", 220, and I
But
looked like
strong.
garbage, but I was probably in better shape than I am now, being 5'11", 44 pounds.
That's what's interesting about like actual strength is you can't necessarily see it so much
Yeah.
in someone. I mean, sometimes you can, but
It's like those tree trunk guys.
Yeah.
They're the strong ones,
Yeah.
not the big like Arnold
Right.
Schwarzenegger buff.
Yeah,
That's
it's
useless.
It's like the power team.
Just like the power team. Those guys didn't look like Schwarzenegger. They look like trees.
Yeah, and like
Trees that
I'm
broke
not.
toilets.
I don't know what you guys think, but I'm not like super into dream breaking. I'm more into dream making.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Jung Ho is quite the climber, better than we are. Also a successful Korean model. Let's remember that about Jung Ho. He's a lot of things.
Super hot. We talked about it before.
I feel like he deserves mentioning.
We like to address it on the show when dudes specifically are hot because,
Yeah.
you don't hear that much.
They don't get the
Dudes
attention.
being like, no, that guy's hot.
Well, and
so
plus,
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Hottest guy we've covered on the podcast. Who is he?
oh God,
I still think it's that brother from Beef. That's a good-looking guy.
That guy is really
He's fit.
as far as leading men,
Hasselhoff, of
Yeah.
course, right?
I mean, in his prime, certainly he was a specimen. I would say
Willie Tanner is the true answer.
Birdman.
we've covered quite a
Peak
few.
male body is that bird crouched up on the thing, squawking.
I respect these answers, but the answer is, have any of these people married Shannon Elizabeth, American Pie queen of our childhood? No. But you know who has? Tommy Keating.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. With his leather jacket.
What if
That's
Roger
true.
Clontz was real?
Good looking dude. Bacon hair.
Yes, bacon hair. He smoked so many cigarettes. He's the only 37-year-old teenager. I think that's real, by the way. I think we looked
In
it up.
both
and he was,
ways.
Yeah. He was 37 playing a teenager.
Jung Ho finds the mannequin we talked about of the recruiter. He's in the setup that we were just looking at with all the loan shark people. He's there, except they're all gone. So he's got the place to himself, and he's like, it's time to do some police work here. This is Jung Ho unable to resist the call of his old job in major crimes. Like, this isn't traffic cop stuff he's doing right here, guys. But he's not really a traffic cop. That's not Jung Ho. He's just unable to resist the call of the investigation and kind of going off and doing his own thing. He's a loose cannon, but he gets results.
Yeah.
About
Next
cops.
episode, he has a really great moment. You guys will both pump your fists in the air.
One of the employees, one of the loan sharkers, he's returning to the office. But this is one of those things where, very fortunately for Jung Ho, who is there breaking and entering and investigating without a warrant, this guy is very loud before he comes in the room. So he's talking on the phone. He's broadcasting everything that would be important for Jung Ho to know. So Jung Ho has a chance to hide, number one. And number two, he also overhears some pretty critical information that is just very convenient that tells them where to go. They haven't heard from the boss. They don't know where either one of Choi or Kim is. They're going to scrap their plans and they're all going to meet together. And they think something might be wrong. So they're going to empty out the weapon supply. And that's what this stray employee that's returning to the facility is doing, is he's there to be like, hey, I need to get all these guns and we need to go meet together and figure out what's going on. He empties all these guns out of like a filing cabinet sort of
Like a
supply.
desk drawer or something.
I do like that. It's a filing cabinet you'd find anywhere.
And then that's pretty much all he's there for. So Jung Ho is able to hear all this, stay hidden, and he's not spotted. And the employee does leave at that point. So once again, Jung Ho can continue to snoop. He has this new information and he's able to go through Sunshine Capital at his leisure once again. So he finds additional documentation regarding Gi-Hun, including the paper trail that actually shows his residence. And that's where now Jung Ho knows about the Pink Motel. And we also know that that's what the recruiter had gotten out of Choi in the last scene. So now we've got the recruiter who knows where Gi-Hun is, and we've got Jung Ho knowing where Gi-Hun is. So everyone's going to be converging on the Pink Motel for our climactic scene here that's coming up. And that's all Jung Ho has to do here. We just needed to get him to the Pink Hotel. And now that that's accomplished, that's where we go.
This is a good climax, though,
Yeah.
right?
It is.
You introduced the second episode with like a bunch of people converging on the same location.
Sure. I don't want more Russian roulette, which is what we're getting here. That's the thing. It was like, we don't do this again right after we just finished that last one.
And you're going to get more, by the way, guys.
I'm sure I will. So naturally, the recruiter is lying in wait when Gi-Hun returns home. You had to know this was the big episode showdown coming up right here.
And Gi-Hun knows it as well.
Sure.
He sees the signs. So
Yeah.
he's beaten and dejected, but you know what? It's here. Let's see what happens.
Do you guys think he understands something about the recruiter here, though? Like an insecurity?
He seems to. Because they spar a little bit. There's a little bit of cat and mouse like Columbo does with the murderers, where they kind of tear at each other a little bit. They try to
just one more thing.
And the recruiter was also making him an omelet when he came in as well.
Donald Pleasance is involved.
I wish.
If fucking only.
Yeah. So when Gi-Hun comes in, the recruiter tells him, looks like you've been working pretty hard trying to find me, because he sees the calendar. He sees all the documentation Gi-Hun's been collecting. And Gi-Hun, he's ready. He's sparring right out the gate. Says, I wanted to thank you. I was looking for you just to say thanks. Because of you, I won the Squid Games. I got a fortune to my name. Seems like the only decent thing to do is thank you. The recruiter says, honestly, I'm not the guy to thank. I'm just a messenger. I just pass on the invitations. And Gi-Hun says, that's fine. So let me speak to the top dog. Give me your master. You're just the dog. I want your master. And the recruiter says, why don't you just tell me? Yeah, why don't you just tell me and I'll let them know for you. I'll bring it to them as the messenger that I am. Gi-Hun says, I don't think I can waste this on an underling like you. So that I'm not going to give you the message. I need to see them directly myself. They're simmering right now. They don't like each other. They have their arguments with each other, and it's all coming out.
Their relationship is really interesting.
It is. We do get a little brief backstory on the recruiter here. It's just, I guess, if you guys wanted to know, right before we have to say goodbye to the recruiter, here's how it all came to be for him. Is he just started working at the games, burning the bodies, and eventually worked his way up. They gave him a gun. He liked the gun. It's not surprising. He found he was especially suited for the job, especially when
Clint Eastwood earlier.
Yeah, just like Clint Eastwood. It turns out one of the men he had to shoot was his own father, who pleaded for his life. And the recruiter found that he didn't care. And he just went ahead and shot his own father right in the head and felt nothing about it and realized that this is my kind of work. So I'm
good at my job.
Yeah, and he loves
I'm a real renegade.
He's a fast riser, guys. The recruiter, he's found his calling. And he made his way from there and just kept working his way up. And eventually they told him to be the recruiter. And this is his final form, I guess. So he makes
his final Pokemon evolution.
Exactly.
So you start out as a Squirtle, you become a War Turtle, and then a Blastoise.
In this sparring session here, the recruiter makes it clear that he still sees Gi-Hun as the same kind of... He thinks of all the participants in the games as they're just human garbage. They're trash. And he tells Gi-Hun, you're no different. Just because you won, I still think you're trash. You're just like the rest of them.
Yeah, he says something like, you're the piece of garbage that fell out of the trash can.
The dumpster.
That doesn't make you any better.
Do you guys blame this guy? Like, I kind of get it.
I feel like, Gi-Hun didn't really do anything to win the games. He's right about that. Like, Gi-Hun's not, he doesn't have like a bragging right or anything.
You guys are scrambling for money and you should stand up to these guys. And me, I understand why you're getting in there, because it's like you're fucked for the rest of your life, financially. But this guy has a purist standpoint of don't sell yourself out like that.
The recruiter's being menacing, but and Gi-Hun knows that he's not going to just kill him in cold blood. He didn't show up at his apartment to gun him down. There's going to be a whole thing. So what he does is he suggests another round of Russian roulette, which we talked about. We said this is coming. Briefly, in the middle of all this, we do have a quick cut of Jung Ho arriving. So he's pulled up to the Pink Motel. He's connected the dots and he's arrived on scene as well. Inside, though, it's just Gi-Hun and the recruiter, and they're going to be finishing this out, just the two of them. So the recruiter has a spin on this version of Russian roulette. So mercifully, it's not going to go on forever. It's just, normally you fire, it's the 1 in 6 chance the bullet goes off, and then you reset it, so you get that 1 in 6 again. And in this case,
I don't think that's the normal. I think what they're going with is what normal is.
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to advance.
I
think it's supposed to advance, and each time it doesn't happen, you're that much closer.
Yeah.
But
that's
he was saying,
the whole point of the game.
I thought, yeah, it could go on forever if you do just keep resetting it. Then you really do get those 1 in 6 odds. Although eventually sample size, eventually you're going to get the 1 in 6 if you do it for long enough.
Eventually, John Jaha is going to walk, sample size.
So he wants to play without reloading the cylinder between shots so that the odds don't reset. The gun's going to fire. It's a certainty. It's going to fire between 1 and 6 shots in. There's no mathematical argument to that. Of course, we're about to find out that the show could not help but give us the 1 in 6 chance on the extreme side that it takes all 6 shots for it to go off. But in theory, it could happen on any one of them, including the first, which would have been really anticlimactic. I mean,
Blam, and
unless it
Gi-Hun's
was,
dead.
Yeah.
I was going to say, unless it was
You
Gi-Hun.
would have never expected that.
I didn't mention this, but the recruiter actually demonstrates to Choi and Kim by shooting at his own head when he's like, we're going to play Russian roulette when he has the 1 in 6 chance. He could have died then when he was explaining the game to him. You know,
Also
he's taking that chance. Yeah, this scene, it happening to Gi-Hun on the first shot is really funny. And I didn't think about that until now. So I'm laughing. So we know it's happening between 1 and 6 shots. We just don't know when. Gi-Hun actually gets to go first, which I was mathematically thinking that's a really fortunate thing. You want to be the one who goes first in the situation so you can get the lower odds on each turn. So he gets to go first. The gun clicks. The recruiter leaps at the gun to take his turn. He just grabs that thing. He grits his teeth and
he loves it.
Yeah, he shoots it. Click. Same thing. Nothing happening yet.
I actually like that though. Like if you're going to have this guy be an aggressive guy like that, like have him be like willing to die.
And he is. Yes.
Yeah.
So the recruiter and before the third shot, when it's Gi-Hun's turn again, the recruiter starts the trash talk, the psychological warfare, and he says, I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised that you won the games. You're really bad at Dakshi. Just throwing that in there. So Gi-Hun ignores him. He takes his turn. It's another click. Then now we're 3 shots in. The odds are down to 1 in 3 for the recruiter who's going to take his turn now. And he knows this. The recruiter knows, I think already, 1 in 3. He thinks I'm probably going to die in this turn. So he just really embellishes this and leans all the way into Gi-Hun and puts the gun in his mouth, like in Gi-Hun's face, pretty much. And he takes his turn. It's another click.
This is, by the way, wouldn't you guys also do this? Like, wouldn't you just assume you're dead?
Yes, every single shot.
Of course.
Even on 1 in 6, I'm thinking that's it. When Gi-Hun takes the gun back, the recruiter tells him, odds are 1 in 2 now. So you know what you can do. You can turn this gun on me, click the trigger twice at the most, and you shoot me. I'm dead. The key that you need to get to the guy you're looking for is in my pocket. You have what you need. Just go ahead and shoot me. But if you do, you're going to have to admit before you do it that you are the same. You're the same kind of trash that everyone else in the games are. Gi-Hun can't take that. He's not going to be able to do that. So he refuses, and he takes his turn. And it's a click. So now we've used all 5 of the shots that could possibly have not been a bullet. There's only one left.
Anti-capitalist stance I have to take. Shocker, right?
Go for it.
I hate or actually like it in context of the show of the disingenuous nature of like, this is on you. You're the same trash that's accepting my handouts, right? And it's like, you offer the handouts. I have nothing else. Like, I know Gi-Hun does. But like most people who he'd be saying the same speech to, like they don't have anything. Like they're trying to get by, and to them, like the prospect of death is less scary than the prospect of living, unless they have something to get by on. So like that's something that like I don't know if the show is taking account for, but like I want to give it credit for.
I think they did. And the recruiter has that blind spot, where he's like, he doesn't see it that way.
Yeah.
But it's 100% true. It's a different thing.
He's never struggled.
He doesn't know that. Yeah, he doesn't know that side of it.
Also, he's a fucking psycho.
He is crazy. The guy's really crazy. There's only one bullet left. It's for him. We know this. It's got his name written on it. They both know that this is the last turn right here. So Gi-Hun offers the recruiter the same chance he was given, which is a nice touch. He says, you can take that last bullet and shoot me, recruiter. But if you do that, I need you to admit to me before you do it that you are nothing but their dog. You bark, you wag your tail, and you're only there to serve your masters.
Badass.
The recruiter gets that crazy look in his eyes that he has, and he puts the gun to his head, shoots himself, because that's what he would do. He's not going to shoot Gi-Hun in that situation when it's
also
that
kind of rules.
He's a very rule-abiding.
He stuck to his principles, just as Gi-Hun did.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the recruiter. He's gone.
I did not expect that at all.
What did you think was going to happen in that scene?
I thought the scene would end at sort of like, I don't know, like all shows end at some sort of impasse. Right?
And
impasse with an E at the end.
It's possible.
Both characters kind of agree on a thing, and like it sort of, I didn't think anybody was dying here. I thought this guy was around for a few episodes and he dies before the big bad dies.
I was thinking it was possible that Jung Ho might have come in and maybe
that was my thought.
he like apprehended
Sure.
the recruiter,
Sure.
so he doesn't die, but he goes to jail
This
or
is
something.
bizarre, but I didn't think of that. But that is the most logical thing.
I mean,
logical.
why didn't he come in? He just like pulled up and sat out there while they clicked their gun playing Russian
He had
roulette.
to go on Instagram or whatever.
I mean, maybe he didn't know exactly how to get in. I don't know. But we left that thread dangling. This is the end of the episode. It ends as soon as the recruiter shoots himself. So that's our episode 1 of Squid Games. But that is all we know for now. And Van and I, we don't actually have any more information about what happens from here.
You guys are
Nope.
going to be so...
Cliffhanger.
I'm not kidding. You will be surprised more than once about what happens this season.
I expect to enjoy it. I really do. I'm
No,
sure.
I enjoyed this. This was fun.
You will both like it. And like, again, I hate that like this season only exists for a capital gain, but I also think it does justify itself, which I am so reticent to say. Like, I don't ever say that. And like, I think the creators of the show, the actors, went out of their way to make this season like something that means something, even if it's like more entertainment based than the first.
I think that the creator made it work. Like it could have gone very badly with what the executives wanted because they're pretty tone deaf normally. And them saying like, let's do some more could have been a disaster, but the creator has whatever this is. Maybe it isn't what the first season was, and maybe it is more in some ways, and we can talk about this at the end of next episode.
He has total creative control.
Yeah.
Which is very rare.
So it's managed to find a way to land. It could have been bad, but it seems like it's going to be okay. We will wrap up this week's coverage here. Is there anything else that we didn't plug yet? Because I know we plugged the Patreon. We did that. What else do we need to? Discord? Drop it on Discord. Come visit us.
Please, like the people on our Discord rule too.
Yeah, it's a fun
Radical.
group. Actually, it would really be.
It's Sherm and his wife.
Yeah. Anyone who's listening, you will enjoy it there. It actually is a good environment. I'm actually really impressed how that worked out. So stop in, say hi in Discord.
Please go to Bandcamp or Spotify and visit Dead Language and look for someone that looks like me, because I put a lot of effort into music and have for a long time. I'd love it if you listen to it. It is everything to me.
And there's
Sincerity.
there's a band of the podcast Red Dress they can check out
Red
as well.
Dress, who I may or may not be involved with. You can find them everywhere too, but mainly Bandcamp. And you can find maybe the best song ever written. It's about Leatherhead, the alligator from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I recently showed the song, not that I'm involved with it, just someone, and they said, that's the best song I've ever heard.
If you're not already on YouTube watching us, you can find that there. And there's all these episodes are there. If you're listening on your podcast player and you want to see the episode on YouTube, you can do that. Van will have it on there at some point, and we've got some older episodes that don't have the video on there as well. So that's another place you can go to. On the way out today, I would like to hear what you guys think a squid sounds like, and we'll leave our listeners with whatever you guys want, whatever you think a squid would be if you heard it in the wild.
Okay, I'll go first. So you're walking up to the sea because you're on the land, and you look in, and there's a squid looking back at you, and you say, "Hello, squid." And the squid, they're smart, right? Cephalopods, they're brilliant or whatever. Looks right at you with its beak and its inky sack. And
it's like a top 8 animal intelligence.
It says, "Aruga," and that's the noise that they make.
Do you have to like pinch it for it to do that, or press it? It just does it?
It does it at will.
Okay.
It just awoogas whenever it wants. That's why when you're in the sea swimming and you hear a lot of awoogas, it's because of all the squids.
All right.
Yeah, it's not the tugboats, which
No.
I'll be honest, I'm always surrounded by tugboats. But like, here's what I think a squid sounds like. Ah! That's it.
I think it makes like a disgusting ink sound, like
Like a
ew. I
something
don't
like that.
This.
It sounds a lot like
a guy from
Tom Bosley.
What the hell's his name? Tom Bosley with his wet mouth.
Now
he's got such a wet mouth.
That's a perfect way to end it right there.
I'd fuck Tom Bosley.